One of the most damaging beliefs that people have towards their work is that they must put in a full day's work, which usually means at least 8+ hours a day. For some other people, that could be 12 hours a day. But that is the goal, time put in, filling all the time allocated to a full day's work with things to do. Now, where does this arbitrary 8 hours of work actually come from? I've got no idea, but the problem is it's focused on the wrong thing. Time put in is not the goal. Getting the important things done as efficiently as possible, now that is the goal. Now, being conditioned to put in at least 8+ hours of work a day, even if there's only 3 hours of actual truly important work to be done, means that people waste a lot of time sitting at their desk, staring off into space, getting distracted, and mostly just filling their time with trivial things. All because they want to feel good about having worked a full day's worth of work, or they don't want to feel the guilt of not working a full day's worth of work. Now, here's the case with most of us. If you assign 8+ hours of time to your work, you're going to fill up those 8 hours of time. But if you only had 4 hours to get the same amount of work done because, for example, you had a flight to catch or a funeral to go to or one of your kids' sporting events, you had some kind of hard stop, you'll notice that you'll still get most of that same amount of work done in almost half the time. Some things will be left uncompleted, but usually they'll be unimportant anyway. So what's the difference? Why were you so much more productive in a 4-hour workday? It's because there was a real time constraint and you were forced to work with a lot more intensity, block out distractions, and focus on what's truly important. The question I sometimes ponder is, what if we could only work half the time we currently do on our career moving forwards? I remember hearing a story about the author of the 80-20 principle, Richard Koch, and how he only works 1 hour a day. He works from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. He's also apparently very wealthy. I'm told worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know that for a fact, but he seems to be very successful. And I was watching interviews with him, with Perry Marshall interviewing him on YouTube, because I wanted to know what's the difference. How does he work so little yet accomplish so much? I found out that he does work more than 1 hour, but writing books and those kind of things, that's more of a passion project. He really does spend 1 hour on his main career. So how is this possible? First, it's the kind of work that he does. He's involved in making investment decisions where if he makes the right decision, the payoff can be enormous. So there's a lot of leverage involved. Next, it's what he doesn't do, which is more interesting. So for example, he doesn't have or use a phone. If you add up all the time that you waste on your phone, scheduling calls between multiple time zones, playing phone tag, texting people backwards and forwards, and just checking social media apps and responding to all those messages, it accounts for a lot of time. For most people, it would be more than 3 hours a day. And lastly, he is ruthlessly disciplined about what he allows to get onto his schedule. So most people say yes to way too many things, and as a result, they create all these obligations which fill up their time. Unless it's a hell yes, then it's better to just say no and protect your time. My suggestion to you moving forwards is put yourself in this hypothetical scenario where you've only got half the normal time that you would normally spend working to get all your work done. And then ask yourself questions like, what would I do differently? Which social media sites would I immediately close off in my browser because I knew they were just going to waste my time and distract me? When I sat down at my desk, what would I do first? What would I do second? Which emails would I answer and which would I happily ignore? Who would I and wouldn't I want to schedule meetings with? What would I delegate to someone else? Each of your answers are going to have the same theme. You would be super selective about what you did. You would not tolerate so many distractions, nor interruptions from others about petty things, and you would be forced to think in terms of 80-20 for everything. You'd constantly be asking, out of all this work that I've got to do, what's in that 80% category creating only 20% of my results? And you would dump that work, you would ignore it. The 20% of the work producing results would become the priority. Now, you might not get everything done that you were previously getting done with twice the time, but you would still get all the important things done. So try it out. Start giving yourself cut-off times for your work. Start working with a hard stop. I do this myself sometimes at night. When I sit down at my desk, usually it's around 7:30 p.m. I've done my workout, I've had my dinner, and I'm ready to work for a few hours, but I'll tell myself that I'm only working until 10 p.m. Now, the truth is it would be really easy for me to keep on working until midnight because there's always more to do. but somehow I always get the important, essential things done before that cutoff of 10 p.m. because I'm just forced to work with more intensity, I don't get distracted, and I know that when it comes to 10 p.m., that's it, I want to finish up. So give it a go. And if you would like some extra one-on-one help from my team with cutting out the inessential, time-wasting work out of your life and refocusing on the 20% producing the majority of your results, then enroll in my 10-day Strive Challenge. What's going to happen is when you go to the website, which is changeyourlifein10days.com, you enroll, someone from my team is going to call you back and we're going to ask you about your goals in different areas of your life. It could be fitness and health, it could be your career, it could be learning new skills. But we're also going to ask you about where your time is currently being spent, because we all have the same amount of time in our day, but it's how we allocate our hours. So often it takes a third party to look at where is your time going and help you see what's wasting your time, what's not producing a result, and where should you refocus your time and energy. So someone from my team will discuss that with you. It'll help you get more focused, be a lot more productive, and just get a lot more done. So if you want to take part in that program, go to changeyourlifein10days.com and get enrolled. That's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow.